Good morning, my fellow Americans, and I use that word strongly. This is Ghost Train 615. The date of this video is August 5th, 2019. So before I say what I have to say about the two shootings that happened this past weekend in El Paso, Texas, and in Dayton, Ohio, legal disclaimer. This video is going to contain coarse adult language. Discretion is the viewer's option. And this is a legal disclaimer also against Susan Wojcicki and her henchmen at YouTube. The little redheaded stepchild known as Mark Zuckerberg, who's a little punk bitch, by the way. And anybody else that thinks that they're going to try to suppress the American right to the First Amendment. And I said American right. The shootings that took place over the weekend in El Paso, Texas and in Dayton, Ohio are truly regrettable. Innocent lives were lost. Some scores injured. And unfortunately, well, I'm not going to say unfortunately, the shooter in Dayton, Ohio wanted to go to hell. Should have been careful what it is he was wishing for, because he got exactly just that, thanks to the quick response of the Dayton police. He got what he wanted and got what he deserved. I don't feel sorry for him. Now, as for this other scumbag in El Paso, Texas, he's now slated for the death penalty for what he did. But what the media, as usual, is trying to hide is that a black man from the military, whose name I don't know at this moment, intervened with his weapon. He had a gun on him at the time. He intervened to save innocent lives. While I'm sure that maybe this hero's name made the MeWe social site, the lame duck media did nothing to mention his name. Because as usual, the lame duck media and all the fucking snowflake liberals are trying to play the stupid blame Trump game again. Hey assholes, Trump was at his resort at the time that this crap broke out. And I don't think it's feasibly possible for him to be in three places at the same time. That's number one. Number two, it was said in a classic James Bond movie, I believe it was The Man with the Golden Gun, where that James Bond, played by Roger Moore, said, it's not the gun that does the shooting. It is the hand holding the gun that does the shooting. You got that now? Both these punks' hands were on these weapons when they did their respective shootings. The president doesn't have nothing to do with this. Which means I'm getting to rule number 3. The Dumpobozos are coming out with the usual bullshit of, oh, gun laws, oh, we need more gun laws. Hey, assholes, did these two punks obey your gun laws before they started murdering people? What's the part of what you're not comprehending in this? These punks, and any punks like them, do not fear your so-called gun laws. They don't fear them. They're going to do what they want anyway. These two punks already did. Then you have an idiot like Pete Buttigieg yammering on about it. And the rest of the clowns follow suit. Boy, that must have been one hell of a clown car. Where did they put you, Buttigieg? In the trunk with the spare tire? You clowns just don't get it. And I'll say it one more time. Punks like these do not fear your gun laws. Responsible gun owners should be authorized to do what they have to do when a situation like this arises. That's why this military guy, this African-American military guy, came out of nowhere and he said, I gotta do what I gotta do. I have to save lives. That's an oath that I keep. Why isn't anybody interviewing him? Whatever his name is. Why isn't anybody talking to him about what he saw and about the lives that he saved? You Dumpobozos, you're just not getting it. I'm going to say it one more time. You need to pay attention to what responsible gun owners do when they're forced into a situation. You need to get it straight from them. Because so far your background nonsense in these two cases didn't work. It didn't work. These two bastards still killed people. And you want to try to take over the White House? Not with this you're not, or any other bullshit that you come out with. You're all the same clowns, all woven from the same fabric. And you're jumping on this to get a foothold. Well, frankly, if it was me, my foot would be up all your asses. Which is what you clowns need. You Dumpobozos will not go out and face the American people because you're the ones that are afraid of the American people. But you expect people like me to be afraid of you? Like you hope these punks are going to be afraid of your gun laws? Not going to happen. Because it didn't. And I'm telling you one more time, look at what happened over the weekend. You Dumpobozos are the biggest assholes in the world. But you don't need me to tell you that. You're doing a fine job all by yourselves, making yourselves look like the assholes that you already are. And God damn it, I am sick and tired of it. You need to listen to what the American people are telling you to do, not what you feel like doing. Now, how are you going to explain these two things that happened? What excuse are you going to have? You can't even explain why the hell Baltimore, Maryland is the biggest fucking shithole I've ever seen since the movie Escape from New York. That's what that looks like. You have imprisoned blacks living in these rat holes fearing for their lives. You and suddenly Elijah Cummings don't give a damn about them. And that's another thing I want to bring up. Elijah Cummings is proof positive that you bastards are still slave owners. Dispute me on that. Change my mind. And change my mind also on these two massacres that happened. Change anybody's minds on that. At least we have minds. You don't. There is blame to go around on this. Besides on those two stupid bastards that did this. The blame is on you, Dumpobozos. Because you think you're going to take people's guns. Responsible gun owners are not going to agree with you. The Second Amendment was written by the forefathers. And it is not controlled by any of you. I think you assholes need to read the Bill of Rights and you need to read the Constitution. Those both will tell you what you are not going to do, but what you should be doing. And again, it's called obeying the American people, which you haven't done since you got butthurt in 2016, in which your psycho bitch, Hillary Rotten Crotch Clinton, thought she was going to win. Ha 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 ha. And she's still married to a rapist. I just thought I'd put that in as a nice reminder. Well, I'm going to tell you dumper Nazis something. Your vacation, you don't deserve it. Unless we, the American people, are given the power to determine when you should have one. And right now, it's just been revoked due to these 2 shootings over this past weekend. You're not going to control responsible gun owners. You won't like the end result of that one. I sit here and wonder what kind of a country we're going to have when 2020 comes around. You're going to make Americans more fierce and more determined than ever to stand their ground. And there are more of us than there are of you stupid Dumpobozos. As for these 2 shootings, you idiots better come up with an actual solution that does work. But until then, I'm going to go by the philosophy of Mike Gallagher that says, the only way you stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Period. And if you clowns won't understand that, you don't need to be in the government. You don't need to be in Congress. You need to be working a third shift convenience store job away from the American people so that we won't be harmed by you. And by the way, you bastards are about as much criminals as these 2 punks proved they were. One paid for it with his life, the other one's going to join him. Because in Texas, they still punish people like this. They still have the death penalty. Which I'm glad Attorney General Barr, via President Trump, has finally decided to bring back. And we're going to put that theory to the test, and very soon. I think they should televise it and show the face of this punk looking at the cameras so that these other punks that are out there that think they're going to do this dumb shit are going to see his eyeballs pop out of their sockets, his blood vessels bulge out, and him choking to death when they either give him the needle or throw the switch. I think the death penalty for this punk ought to be slow and painful for every life he took. That's the method that we should use on him. And I doubt if the governor of Texas is going to show him any mercy. No, it won't happen. He's going to pay for it, and pay it in full. Over 1,000 times. It will give the victims' families closure that they're entitled to. Until then, Americans, we're not going to live in fear. We're not going to obey the Dumpobozos. And we're going to be who we are. Oh, and by the way, one more thing. The Dumpobozos are running their mouths about gun control. Why do they still have armed bodyguards wherever they go? How about you Dumpobozos start there and you give up your armed bodyguards? Not that they got better things to do. Prove you're not a bunch of hypocrites. You give up your armed bodyguards first. As for the President of the United States, whom I helped to duly and legally elect, he has to have Secret Service around him, just like every other president before him, which unfortunately includes a certain failure from Kenya, who fucked up this country for the last 8 years. He wouldn't have done nothing about this. He hated America. I happen to love America. I learned a lot. And I work for the military myself. I'm a civilian working for the United States Navy. I've learned a healthy respect for and to commanding officers, captains, and someone in time, admirals. I learned to give them respect first in order to get that respect in return. My fellow Americans, let's start taking command before there's another massacre. Take command now. Remember the right to keep and bear arms. Use them responsibly. If you're ever in a situation like that of these two punks, while they're claiming to wear body armor, their head and their legs are out in the open. There's 3 ways to stop them, and I just gave them to you. Their head or their legs, or even one leg. A shot in one leg will be enough to stop a punk with a gun. And if that doesn't work, go for the other one. And if that doesn't work, well, there's only the final solution. Until then, fellow Americans, let's watch each other's backs. 2020 is coming with a vengeance. But we have to be vengeful first. We have to take care of our families, our friends, our loved ones, our co-workers. Let's protect ourselves. Because that's our right. That's not a right by government or a right by Congress or a bunch of idiots. It's our right. The forefathers said so. Let's protect ourselves, everybody. And protect each other. It's Ghost Train 615 signing off.